Okay, everybody, I've got sound, so we'll go ahead and go from here. As I promised, I am making a short video this that is in lieu of Labor Day class. Obviously, we don't have class on Labor Day. So it gives me an occasion to talk about some policy issues that I'll be addressing with the other classes next week, that my Tuesday, Thursday classes, basically. It's important to understand that there have been some pretty major changes in terms of how textbook dealers textbook publishers deal with us. When I buy a textbook, for example, like you do, if I do, you are in your purchase basically agreeing to use that textbook in the proper way. For example, not to take it and scan it and then put it on the internet and sell it to your friends. Okay. It's the same thing with the exams that I use. The exams I use for this course are drawn from the textbook, the Anderson textbook, the big one. The questions that are on those have been researched. They've been when you take a quiz, you're taking one that's been developed by that company in cooperation with usually faculty who teach this type of material from all over the country, sometimes even outside the United States. So their viewpoint is that these tests that I use, for example, they're pulled from a test bank, are really their property. And they're right, it's theirs. So when I get an instructor copy, for example, and I go to a companion website, I have to agree to abide by their copyright privileges. What that means is two things. First of all, if you download an exam and you share it with other people and you get caught, you're not only going to have an academic integrity issue with the university, you might wind up in an issue with the publisher. So I would urge you, if you have that itchy inclination, to go out on the web and see if you can find the answer to these questions. I'm going to tell you now that those sites get monitored and identified all of the time. These publishers have become very diligent because they spend a lot of money developing all these questions and these test bank items. So all I can do is encourage you, if you see something, stay away from it, because you might find yourself in the middle of a mess. Now, this is a whole lot. What's happening now with the textbook publishing industry is not too different than what's happened, say, out in music. We're all aware of, I think it's been a year or so now, with Taylor Swift, who refused to put her music on Apple, until Apple agreed they would pay her fees. When a musician or a producer, director, when an actor, anybody is involved in those creative things, they have the right to be paid for the use of their material. And so these textbook publishers have started to take the same position. And so this is kind of a little lecture I'm going to deliver to all of the classes this week, because I just haven't had the opportunity to do it. Now, I'm always open when you contact me and you say, I don't understand this question, or I missed the item and I'm not sure why I did, or where would you find the answer. I'm okay with all of that, all right? It's a rare thing that I'll find a question that is not, that they don't have the correct answer, because the average textbook publisher spends a lot of time and a lot of money. But I'm always happy to try to explain or answer questions. So that's something that's quite important. I want to address also the issue of taking exams. It is inevitable that I'll have that person who will send me an email and go, oops, Dr. Harmon, I opened exam number 3 or whatever. And just it was all by accident. Okay. Please understand that before you send that email, I can go in to Canvas Analytics. I can take a look and see if you simply viewed that thing which you opened, or it lists you as having participated. Having participated means you looked at the item, at an item or items. I know there's a temptation at times for people to go out to one of these, open it up, and go and do screenshots of the questions. When I see a participated, but I don't see a submission or a score, I start to ask myself, is this what happened? Now, far be it from me to ever accuse somebody of doing something like that. However, when the system tells me, for example, that Bill Smith went over, opened up the exam, participated, that is, looked at items, but didn't submit anything, and then Bill comes back and says, I'm sorry, Dr. Harmon, I made a mistake. Can I take the exam now? I got to tell you, I'm kind of having a problem with that. And so probably what I will do in that case, if it should occur, is I will simply tell a student I'm just going to have to see what I can do. Okay? And it's important to understand, I can't stop you from sharing. Look, I could use the respondents, I could lock down your browsers, I could make you come into class and take the exams under a proctor. I'm going to deal with you as adult and moral agents. If you choose to, the exams are already open book, open note, okay? If you have and I encourage you to get a digital copy of the textbooks so that you can search them and find them more easily. But this is not just a case where you sit down and you have to read the chapter. It's just like any other exam, except I'm nice enough to let you take it at any time. And also I'm able to monitor if it was you or several people. So how would you know that that I and several people might have taken the exam? I'll tell you how. I know the IP address for your machine. I know if you have one off campus or phone, I know the IP addresses for the machines on campus. And if I see 3 people who came in about the same time and take the quiz and come up with identical scores and miss the same 3 items, I take a hard look at that. We do have an academic integrity, an ethics code in the college of business. So I have to tell you that. Now, I also wanted to make sure, and I think you'll see about staying on top of your work. Now, all I can tell you is my policy is, and it's not any different than several people. I think Dr. Rudenbach has the same policy. The first time your work is late, it's 50% off. From there on out, it's zeros. Now, under extraordinary circumstances, I might say, okay, I'll waive that. But I've had people in the past who thought they could come to me with as many as, I had one individual came to me with as many as 12 or 13 assignments they hadn't done. You come to me with something like that, you're out of luck. So you need to make sure that you stay on top of this. And frankly, the way I've got this thing designed is such that you really there should be no late work. I've designed this course around years of listening to students about, isn't there a way I could take this at any time? Isn't there any way I don't have to be sitting in a seat and not miss anything from class? And so when we adopted the LMS and we adopted Zoom, I thought, okay, but I still have, fairly high, some clusters of students who will tell me, the dog ate my computer. It's no longer the dog ate my homework, the dog ate my computer and stuff like that. And I got to tell you, folks, you need to do that. Now, if you don't have a computer of your own and you have to work in the lab, it's your responsibility to be over there. That lab is open the entire week from, I think, 8 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night. So you're not having a computer in your room or with you, or a tablet is really your issue, not mine. Okay, that would be no different. I used to have students complain to me that, why can't I do this homework outside of the lab? And I would, and it was pretty simple. I didn't have the capability to do it. We do now. Okay. In fact, you could work, if you have to travel, you should have a machine with you, or be able to, or access a machine. I've set this up so that the person who says to me, gee, I had practice all day and I had a football game and on, that's not an excuse. It's not a reason. It's an excuse. And I'm not real sympathetic. All right. Now, if you want to write an ugly evaluation up about me or call the dean, or you do so. Okay. But I have to, and I want to encourage you and give you a fair course. I do this to make it as convenient as possible. But I have to have this chat with everybody at the start of the semester, because I'll have those people who will just let things sit and sit and sit. And then they decide to do an assignment dump and turn in a whole bunch of work. That just doesn't cut it with me. If the course could be done in 6 weeks, I'd make it a 6-week course. Okay? So I wanted to let you know that, and this is just a policy issue in a short blurb I promised you that I was going to do, because you do need to see this. Now, here's all of the work, and I'll be grading work this week, this weekend. And again, here was what was due. Now, we don't have any class Monday because it's Labor Day, obviously. But I've got something for you to do. And this case deals with Nolan. You need to, on Wednesday, I'll review that. And I'll review M&D chemicals. Okay. And M&D chemicals, that one. And PAR Inc., we'll talk about that. And you'll see, I'll show you the key. We'll talk about what you did. And they're due on the 7th at 5 p.m. Okay. Well, I wanted to take 15, maybe 20 minutes, and so you'll understand what we're going to do. And I'm going to click on the PAR Inc., for example. I'll talk about that. And again, the instructions for it. Now, M&D chemicals. Now, I want to make certain that you understand also, when I do these workshops, when I do these screencasts that I just basically do, I'll do maybe some short lecture, and then I'll delve into the cases. They're workshops, and you get credit for them. And you get credit for them not because I'm just giving away points. You get credit for them if you attend, because you're getting yourself prepared for things you'll need to do later on in the course, specifically in a project or in the final exams. Okay? So it's important for you to attend this screencast. I want to talk about this for a minute, because we're now at the point of the course where attendance starts to become a meaningful issue, and the registrar continues to send emails out to all of us saying, find any students who aren't attending class. How do you attend class? You attend class by having logged into and participated in or viewed a screencast. If there are 2 screencasts in a week, you need to see both of them. And I can even see, Canvas provides me the analytic that tells me how long you spent. So if you're not beaming in and you're not looking at the screencast, whether you come to the lab or you don't, if you're not doing that, you're not attending class. And so I have to report that. So that's how you do class attendance. And that was something I needed to tell you. Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing everybody's work this weekend. And as I said, we'll do some work on Wednesday. That'll be a virtual Wednesday. And I think I've also uploaded virtual office hours, that type of thing. So you should be good to go. Okay, folks, thank you so much. I'm going to call this a wrap. I'm going to cover these policy things and we will go from there. Okay? Thank you. I hope you're having a safe and enjoyable holiday.